Hello, readers and writers of the internet. And one quick side note before we begin is that The Vampire's Pet, written by me, myself, and I, is recently republished. This is the new cover. I did a lot of editing, brought it down some pages, and if you have read my the physical copy before, the old copy, this book, I promise you, is nothing like that. I've changed a lot of things involving dialogue, involving character, involving plot. The entire middle of the book is almost completely different what it was originally. I took out a lot of scenes, I added in new scenes and stuff like that, so this is completely different. And can we just say that this cover is absolutely freaking amazing. The cover is by Sharon M. She did an absolutely amazing job with this cover. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty, and I promise you, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything. I'm just letting you guys know. If it comes out that way, I do apologize. That's not my intention. But yeah, it's gonna be listed down in the description like it always is. So this video is my review of Panic by Sharon M. Draper. I do want to apologize firstly though for the long wait, because there was something called midterms that I completely forgot about that happens in October. So that was a fun time, and then I just haven't found time really to make this video, but I finally found time and I'm so excited to talk about this book. For those of you that know, I like kidnapping stories. I don't know why. The best examples I can give you is Doll's House by M.J. Arledge. I absolutely love that book. So when I saw this, I was really excited because it was a kidnapping plot, you know? And I don't really see a lot of those, and this book was kind of short. I was like, okay, let's do it. I was super excited for it. If you remember in my, I think it was my first, it might have been my second book haul, but I'll put the thing for the video up there for more of my thoughts on that. And this book disappointed me. Yeah, I think I gave it like I probably gave it 2 stars if we're being honest here. I don't remember what I put on Goodreads. Yeah, like one of my main concerns going into this book is that the main character, Diamond, is pretty stupid. Like on the back of the, you know, the synopsis, it says that she gets into a car with a guy because he's handsome. And like, I hope that was like, there was a bit more to it, or, you know, something along those lines. I was wrong. I'm not trying to be mean here to the author, or, you know, the characters that she wrote, but Diamond was pretty stupid. The only way that like I can explain what like my thought process is and what my brain is going through just like looking at this book is to just go through it with you guys. So this book, it has multiple perspectives and point of view. It has Justin, Layla, Mercedes, and Diamond. So Mercedes is Diamond's best friend. Justin likes, there's a subplot involving Justin and Lila. Justin likes Lila, and Lila, and the pair of them are in the same dance class that Diamond and Mercedes are in. So it has this weird dynamic because it doesn't really read to me like a group of friends unless I'm just remembering it wrong. It reads more like two friends, and then they just happen to be acquainted with one another. I don't know what it was, but like the dialogue between the four never really felt natural to me, I guess, and that's another point that I want to bring up. And when I say this, I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful or anything. I just don't particularly know how to say this any other way, but this author doesn't really know how to write teenage dialogue. Like, I'm okay with some slang or some abbreviations or stuff like that. I thought it was fine, and they both die in the end by Adam Silvera. I thought that was fine involving one character, but here, it's every time they speak and it's with every character, and I don't know if she did that on purpose, or if this is actually how she thought teenagers talked or sounded like. For those of you that don't know, I'm still a teenager. I'm 19. I've rarely met another teenager who talks the way that they do and interact the way that they do. It's just a strange pit of just I can barely even explain it. Don't worry, I'll read you some examples. But it's weird because this is not how teenagers talk. This is not right. Like, throughout this entire point, as I'm reading this book, I could barely stand the dialogue and the slang. It was just too much for me. Someone please tell her that this is not how we talk. We don't sound like this. Oh, okay, so the first time that we're introduced to Justin, it's made clear that he is a guy who is a dancer. He makes it very clear that he likes girls, and this bully comes up to him and tries to punch him, and he defends himself, and then he after Justin beats the crap out of this bully, his response is dance with that! Exclamation point. This is the first chapter. The first chapter. And like, these chapters aren't long. They're like a few pages each. So like, this is happening on one of the first pages. It's on page 3. That happens on page 3. So that, oh, I read that. I'm like, this is going to be the tone for the entire rest of the book, isn't it? And like, even when they're not talking in like slang or anything like that, it doesn't sound like real dialogue. It sounds like sometimes if you watch like a horror movie, specifically a horror movie, or another movie, sometimes you can just tell that the screenwriter doesn't really know how teenagers interact anymore, if that makes sense. And these girls, Mercedes and Diamond, I believe they're 15, but still, like, it's not as, I can't even do it justice. He texts me every single morning, Mercedes said happily, "Yeah, I know, it's so sweet, I can't stand it. You want to hear what he sent me this morning? I don't know, do I? My head might explode. He said, 'Morning, butterfly, hope you slept well.' Then he sent me a link to Mariah Carey's old song, Butterfly. I'm about to choke up in here." This is not how teenagers interact. This is not it. We don't talk like this. Like everything that comes out of any character, and I do mean any character's mouth, is like that. Like, even the fully grown adult teacher does that, and it doesn't sound natural, it doesn't read natural, it doesn't look natural. Like, this was, it just bugged me throughout the book. It was funny at first, and then it just got annoying. So, not a lot happens in the beginning of the book. It's kind of just setting up that they're all in a dance studio, they like dancing, that kind of stuff. And then Mercedes and Diamond go to a mall, and they split up for a brief period of time. I think Mercedes is like buying something, and Diamond's like, "I'm hungry." So Diamond goes down to the food court, and this attractive older guy, and when I say older guy, I'm talking about like 30s, right? This is a 15-year-old that's like, "Wow, this guy is the most attractive person I've ever seen. Oh my goodness." It was just weird. But yeah, so like this 30-year-old, right? He starts talking to Diamond and starts talking about like acting, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a casting agent, I think he said, we're doing auditions at my house and all these celebrities are gonna be there. And Diamond goes with him to his house. I don't know how dumb I was when I was 15, but I don't feel like I was that dumb. I feel like I had enough common sense. If a stranger were to invite me to go to his house, I would say no. Like, stranger danger is still a thing, right? Like little kids are still being taught that. Because like, I find it so hard to believe that a 15, 16-year-old would do that. Like, it just makes no sense. I just don't get it. And like the fact that that's like the main turning point in the story, because like I said, this is a kidnapping story. This is the main point in the story. The fact that the main point is so dumb ruined the rest of the story for me, because I couldn't get over it. Like anything and everything that happened to her, I'm like, this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. Could have been avoided. You know, like I find it hard. Maybe this was just me because I didn't really connect with the characters or the dialogue or even the writing, sorry to say. But like, I had really no sympathy for Diamond, you know? Like, I feel bad saying that, but like usually with a kidnapping victim, you wanna kinda feel sorry for them because it's supposed to be something like that could happen to anyone, if that makes sense. Like, an example I'll give is the Silence of the Lamb movies. Like, the girl gets kidnapped, Catherine, I believe her name was, helping a guy with a supposed broken arm get a couch into a thing. Like, that's something that is believable that someone would do to help out another individual. It's just hard for me to believe that a 15-year-old would get into a car thinking that she's going to be cast in the next major Hollywood movie by this attractive 30-year-old that she met at the mall. Ugh. Also, quick side note, these orange tabs that I have right there, I don't know if you can see them, that marks how many chapters follow Diamond, like after she's been kidnapped. Like, obviously she's in the book before, but those orange ones are just her being kidnapped, like in the space. There's only 8 chapters involving the main plot. Like, the rest focuses around this other subplot that I'm going to get to involving Layla and her boyfriend. But it's like, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. And you only spend 8 chapters going through this? Like, granted, I will say this. Granted, the stuff that she goes through is traumatic. And I believe that it was very smart of the author to kind of do those scenes, like, fragmented and not in full detail. That was good. I just wish that there would have been, like, a bit more. The author did a good job of not really showing us what was going on, but telling us, you know, not going into detail what was happening, which I liked because it is stuff that involves a 15-year-old and grown adult men, and I don't want to particularly read about that in full detail, so I do like that. I just wish that there would have been a few more chapters involving the situation. Like, I don't know, like maybe the two of them like eating dinner or something, or her like not being able to sleep, you know, something else. But it just I didn't care about the subplot. I wanted to get to the kidnapping plot, but there was just so little of it that I had to read the dance plot, and I wasn't amused. By the way, just like another quick little side note, the tabs that are blue, green, and yellow, these are mainly related to dialogue. So like I'm obviously not gonna read everything, but this is like Like, some of it I could deal with, other times it was just too much for me. There's just stuff like that. It was, like, as you can see, this is quite a lot. I almost ran out of tabs doing this, but it's fine. So, after Diamond gets captured, we kind of go a bit more into the subplot involving Layla and her boyfriend, which is, Layla is in a physically abusive relationship, and I believe that the boyfriend is older, like he's like 18, 19, something like that. I think he's still in high school. But yeah, she's in a physically abusive relationship, and Justin likes Layla and he wants her out of the relationship because he's like, I can treat her better. This is just my personal opinion, of course, you know, but I felt like this book, kind of just like with the kidnapping, the way in which this abusiveness was handled was incorrect, or it wasn't right. Let's just say that. I felt like I just felt like it wasn't done particularly well. You know, it doesn't really go into the dynamics of why Layla likes the boyfriend, just that he's attractive and that he's sweet to her sometimes. So like that's usually after he messes up and he'll like apologize and bring her like flowers and stuff like that. But it either doesn't happen enough times for me to be like, oh, okay, here's the pattern, obviously. They only go through that like one time, and then like she states a few times, I don't think I'll be able to find it, but she states a few times that like him hurting her, and I could be getting this quote wrong because it's been a while since I've read it, but she states a few times that him hurting her is him showing her that he loves her, if that makes sense at all. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't feel like that aspect of it is warranted, especially because they are teenagers. But I felt like the fact that they were teenagers could have been touched on just a bit more, because, you know, they're still getting to the hang of things with relationships, you know, social life, that kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know, like if her boyfriend was, and he could be, I just don't remember, but maybe if like her boyfriend was a really popular guy in school and she was like, I have to stay with him because he makes me popular, you know, like a string or something to hold him or hold her to him. But I don't remember any strings like that. I just remember reading like her saying, oh, he does it because he loves me, or he gets mad, or, you know, something like that. It's just like that part of that aspect of it isn't really warranted. So same thing with the kidnapping. It's not really particularly believable to me, so I wasn't that invested into it. Sorry to say. I'm really not trying to be mean to the author when I say this, but I just felt like the ideas weren't fully recognized in this book. I don't feel like the topics were warranted because it never went all the way, if that makes sense. And yes, this is a YA book, it is meant for teens, but there's some serious YA books out there. I haven't read this one, but I've been told, like Ember in the Ashes, Six of Crows, like the majority of these books, they deal with like, you know, really huge and like serious things. Like the main character in the Storm Girl struggles with depression. I feel like she might have been holding back because it was a YA, but at the same time, obviously YA books can touch up on those deeper subjects, and I think they should sometimes. But at the same time, if you were concerned about you know, this being, oh, you know, teens, blah, 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 then don't make a YA book. Make a adult book, adult fiction, go all the way with it if you want to. That's just how I felt personally. And like you can kind of tell throughout this review, I'm not really talking that much about the plot because there isn't that much to talk about. Like nothing besides the abusive relationship and the 8 chapters that we get involving the kidnapping happen. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of, where do we think Diamond has gone? Oh, it's so sad that she's gone. Oh, well, let's go to dance class. And I will say that the scenes involving dance class, those were done very, very well. The author, the way that she could write the music and how it, like, moved their bodies and, like, the way that they felt about a certain song, I felt that was very well. But at the same time, it was low-key out of place, and sometimes it was kind of inappropriate because after Diamond goes missing, they do a song like in her memory, like in Diamond's memory, saying, oh, you know, she's gone, not forgotten, let's dance in her honor. And I get that's trying to be a serious moment, and for some people it might be, I don't have any ties to dance, you know, so it probably hit some people harder than it hit me, but I just felt like that was kind of miscarried, if that makes sense. I'm like, I don't think you should be, like, dancing right now because your friend's missing. But those scenes were really well done. It's just sometimes they were kind of out of place, but I did enjoy reading them, and Diamond also relates to her music. I think the guy gives her like an iPod or something like that, and she's able to listen to a song called Butterfly. I'm making ties here. Also, it's discovered, and I'm gonna briefly touch up on this because I don't know what I can really say on YouTube, and I don't want to go too into depth, but it is told that Diamond is being drugged with her dinner and then passing out, and then older men are coming in, and it's being recorded and then posted to the black web. But that also kind of arose an issue to me. I don't think it was the black web. I think he just said he's posting it to the interweb or something like that. Like, he didn't even move out of the city. Like, he's still in the city, and he's posting these videos. And the cop, I feel like they would have come across that video. But no, the police in this are essentially useless. They're like, we have no leads, blah, blah, blah. But then the guy is posting willy-nilly, like, every night on the internet. I'm just like, how has this never come to the surface with the police or FBI, or not FBI, but, you know, just anyone, like, even by chance, like. And I feel like that was extremely stupid of the kidnapper to do that, because you're still in the same city in which you kidnapped a girl and you are posting videos about this girl. And the way that it's handled is, I don't want to say funny, but that's the only way that comes to mind, because he's like, I told you you were going to be a star. This book, and like, it's a short book, and it wasn't painful to get through because there were so many, like, you know, funny moments and things that I, like, tabbed and stuff like that. So it wasn't painful to get through. It was just one of those books. It's like, okay, I kind of get it. This could have been condensed even more. I just want to finish this, blah, blah, blah. There isn't really, like, that much going on in this book. They go to dance class. They have conversations. That's about it. Honestly, the boyfriend, Layla and him break up for a short amount of time. And then he apologizes, and they get back together, and he ends up taking photos of her, and she consents to those photos. But yeah, she consents to the photos, and she's, you know, feeling pretty and all this. And then one day, randomly, the boyfriend, Donovan, releases it at school. Like, she did nothing to, like, warrant that. He just randomly decides, I'm going to post this. I want to show everyone. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And so Justin, I believe, beats him up And then we get this amazing line when the two of them are talking. Now remember, these two are love interests, okay? Justin says, I'm not sorry for smacking Donovan down. I'll do it again. You're like this exotic flower. And he treats you like the dirt in the garden. It drives me crazy. And then she responds with, wow, that was pretty poetic. She looks at Justin thoughtfully. Maybe Mercedes was right. Maybe he ran deeper than she'd be willing to admit. This is not how teenagers talk. Like, I've heard my friends say, like, corny stuff. And I've seen some corny stuff. Whew, I've never in my life, my 19 years on this earth, heard someone say that to another human being. I don't know why, but it's always in books. I've never heard someone say that to another human being. And if they do, I've never heard it work. I've never seen it work. Like, like if a guy said that to me, I'd be creeped out, weirded out. I'd be like, okay, thanks, okay. It wouldn't be romantic. It wouldn't be. Oh. Also, another side note. Layla's father recently got out of prison. What does this add to the story? Nothing really. What does this add to the character? Barely anything. They kind of interact a few times, but I felt like that was unneeded subplot, and it would have benefited from just the abuse subplot and the kidnapping subplot and the romantic subplots. Like, it just felt like it was like, okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. What else can I get off my checklist? Like, it literally felt like a list that I was just reading through. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have this trope now. Oh, another one. So yeah, that's not important. I just wanted to bring it up. Why? I don't know. Because I can. Because it's my channel. And I had to read this book and now I'm reviewing it. So I'm gonna bring up what I want. So Diamond finally escapes. She escapes using a dance move. She jumps over a pit. She does one of those like leaping jumps that dancers do, like ballerinas. And the guy doesn't make the jump and he falls into the pit and like breaks his leg and gets arrested. All that fun stuff. Not gonna lie, it was kind of it was really anticlimactic. The guy just failed to make a jump. End of story. He just didn't jump far enough and that was it. I was like, oh, it's over? It's over? Oh, okay. Again, when they hear news about Diamond being back, they don't respond like human beings. They just shout, she's back, she's back, she's back. Yeah, awesome, huh? I've been up all night, girl, trying to get information. I don't feel like that's how people respond if your best friend was kidnapped and got back. It's just nothing is natural in this book. Nothing. So the end of this little Layla subplot with the abuser type deal. He calls her. He's like, the cops picked me up, and she says, good. He says, no, wait, they're charging me with passing around porn, but you're no porn queen, Layla. You've got it all wrong. So he gets arrested for passing around child pornography, essentially. She doesn't take him back. And I believe that she starts to date Justin out of this. So those two, yeah. And I've been looking for it for a while, but I can't find the passage. But there is a passage in here where Layla, she compares her struggles and what she's been through to Diamond, and be like, oh, I can relate now to this victim. And I get what the author was trying to go for here, and like kind of have the two subplots kind of merge and have like parallels and that kind of stuff. And I felt like, again, if the two plots weren't so mishandled, I guess would be the word, then I could possibly see it working. But at the same time, she's like, I know exactly what Diamond has been through, and I'm just like, no you don't. Like, those pictures that your boyfriend took of you, those were consensual. What happened to Diamond wasn't consensual. You did that of your own free will. Diamond was kidnapped. You know, like, Justin helped you out of the relationship. Diamond had to do it by herself. Like, I get what the author was trying to do. It just didn't work, and I literally paused when I read that. I was like, and I literally spoke out loud. I was like, no, sweetie, you can't be doing that. You can't, like, I don't know. I just felt like it was mishandled. And then when she compared herself, it kind of made Diamond's situation just like lessen slightly, if that makes sense. I know I'm not doing a good job of explaining it or anything, but like I said, I can't find the passage in here, so I don't really have an example. But that was just my thoughts on it. And then one of the last chapters, right? And then Layla says, well, I'll be with you by your side, especially me. I'll tell you all about my little adventures while you were gone when you're stronger. I don't think I have to say anything for that one. I'm just gonna let those words speak for themselves. Yeah, it ends with Diamond saying that she just wants to dance again and dance forever. Be a beautiful little butterfly. This book is weird for me. It's very weird for me because, like, I love it because of the dialogue and the plots and the characters and that kind of stuff, but I also hate it because the dialogue and the plots and the characters, the only way that I can think of explaining it to you guys is it's like a B movie. You know, nothing about it is right or really that good, but you're just like, I love this movie. I want to watch this movie. Like, I've been thinking about this book consistently after I read it. Like, I got so excited for this review. And again, I am sorry that I didn't really talk about much, like, the plot or, like, what happened, but nothing really happened. They had, like, a dance recital, a dance class. They talked. There was no really progression, so I decided to focus on those other things. I hope that's okay with you guys, but no, like, there was not that much for me to talk about plot-wise. But yeah, it's like a B movie for me. Like, I hate this book, but I also love this book. I don't know, it's just a strange little Mod Podge, but that's okay, that's okay. This is a guilty pleasure. I've come to the realization. And again, when I'm not trying to be mean to the author when I say that. I'm not trying to be mean to the author or anything like that. I do understand what it takes in order to write a book. My book, right here, far from perfect, and I understand that, and I get it. Like, you know, nothing I write is gonna be perfect. Some people may love this book and some people may hate this book. I saw 5-star reviews and I saw 1-star review, so it just depends on the person. But for me, this is a guilty pleasure book. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me if you follow me on all my other social media such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Those will be listed down in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!